All right. So let's get going for this parent coffee, and I want to thank you for all of you being here already. So we'll be covering, what's next after a student has applied to college, has most likely received a decision, hopefully, and now what do we do? So just kind of going around the room, what grade is your child at the moment? If you want to just let me know, you don't have to disclose the name or anything. Just let me know if you have seniors, juniors in the room. Yeah, just let me know if you have seniors, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting the feel of the room here. If you don't have any seniors, just let me know the grade of your child. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go right away, I guess. So here is the agenda. So we're gonna be covering today what is May 1st National College Decision Day, and the implication with the financial aid application delays this year. There's obviously a lot of emotions going on, a lot of uncertainties, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of really excitement from all parties, parents, students, even staff, to be honest. We're going to be talking about the social media, that it could be your friend as a parent. We'll be talking about paying your classes. We'll talk about the adaptive services, and we'll talk about what is exactly this service provided by the university. We'll talk about the housing situation, the roommate situation, how to really start dropping off the student, and how we're learning the different social cues going on around that, and then anything wellness and mental health at the university. Okay, so May 1st, it's the National Decision Day. A lot of students can hear from the university calling it as a reply day, as an enrollment deposit, but mainly it is widely known to be Decision Day, without an E on the PowerPoint, by the way. So colleges are awaiting your response in which college your child will be attending. So at this point, because of the financial aid delays and because of the different issues that have been going on with financial aid packages being sent to the parents and the students, we are seeing a trend where universities are pushing this decision day to sometime a couple of weeks, sometime a month, depending on the type of university. So this is something that you need to be aware of. We are not in a normal year. For seniors that have applied to college and are looking to have a decision or even financial aid package, they will have this very late. Financial aid and scholarships that are offered by the institutions will most likely be sent mid-March, end of March, or maybe even mid-April. These are the type of information I'm getting through different sources, and as well as the Financial Aid Association. So it's a little bit complicated at this point for parents to make decision, but the way I am seeing it is that if you haven't applied to financial aid, do it as soon as possible, first of all. They want to make sure that your financial aid application is in, and then they will go by the date you submitted your application. So if you submitted your application whenever it opened, December 31st, then that's when you'll be first in line to be reviewed. The other thing too is you want to make sure that you are focusing on scholarships. And I've mentioned this many times in newsletters and even talking with students and parents. dedicate time to apply to scholarships. Because of that delay and because of this uncertainty, the scholarships offers will be coming probably sooner rather than later. Some of them are depending on the financial aid, but as long as you give them a screenshot that you've submitted it, it should be okay for them to process them. For those scholarships not using financial aid, they don't need to wait for them, so they can already start awarding students. So you may receive scholarships offers before the federal financial aid offers. So just put that on your back of your head. So the link that I have in here, from NACAC, NACAC, is a directory of all the universities that have decided to push their enrollment deadline. So you'll see a lot of, I think there's about 15 Virginia universities that have decided to push the deadline. It's not as much delay. I mean, it's not pushed enough for me, I think, but some of them are have decided to add 2 more weeks to the deadline. I don't think it's enough, but then again, it's something. Any questions? And also feel free to jump in. I have opened up the microphones for the audience, and you may want to just jump in if you like. Okay, so we are now, if you have decided to select a university and you want to already make the decision to deposit or let them know that you want to go there, the next will be to start securing the orientation and then starting to pay for the enrollment deposit, obviously. And that is non-refundable. So, I mean, if you receive another decision from another university that you want to go to, you will be losing that enrollment deposit. Now, make sure that you're not on early decision, because early decision is binding. So if you've got accepted in ED university, you are supposed to go there because of the contract that you signed. So make sure that you should be aware of that already, but this is something that we come across when we come to making decisions with students and parents. So students or parents have the possibility to pay with credit card as well, which is payment plan. So because of that delay, a lot of students, that I'm foreseeing this, that a lot of students will be, and parents will be faced with no financial aid offers yet, some scholarships, but not able to pay the entire full tuition. So they're going to have to end up either paying out of pocket or also doing a payment plan offered by the universities. For the most part, universities have that option, but you have to look at the cashier's office. It's a whole different type of department that handles this. But if you do a quick search on the website of the university payment plan, you'll be able to see that option. So what does the payment plan do? It secures your spot, basically. It secures your way of making sure that not only you pay the enrollment deposit, which is the first spot being secured, but it also ensures that you will be able to enroll in classes. Okay, so that you have selected your classes, that you're able to start the classes in August or September, depending on when the college starts. So with your enrollment deposit, and then after that, you can pay the tuition, either payment plan or hopefully financial aid and scholarship that come your way. Any questions? Okay, the tuition is one thing. If you're going far from, if your child is going far from your house, going, wanting to stay on campus, you will also want to secure your housing now, pretty much as early as possible, whenever you have made your decision on where you want to go. The reason is that it fills up very fast. There are wait lists, and then if the university allows you to be outside of the campus, you will have to secure apartments, regular apartments to rent. And you'll have to decide, you know, the roommate and etc. So we'll go into details a little bit more later. All right, so I want to quickly talk about FERPA. So you probably heard about FERPA, but at the university level, it's basically the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. What this does is that whenever the student goes into college, your child will be 18, legal adult. At this time, you won't have access to any type of records. So right now you have access to records and grades and everything like that. But as soon as you start switching and you're going to the college, your child will have to add you to the FERPA waiver form to allow you to be able to access grades or any type of medical information or anything that is related to their account at the college. So make sure you're aware of that. Okay, so if you want to call the financial aid office, for example, and you want to ask them, does my child have the financial aid got processed, or do you know what kind of scholarships my child is getting? They won't be able to give you an answer, even though you have provided the IRS information, the financial aid information, and disclosed a lot of, sensitive information. As soon as the file is in the college, that becomes just between the child and the college. So be aware of that. The way to counteract that is to make sure that your child knows to add you to the form. But we want to also make sure that they're all self-sufficient. So they want to make sure that they get responsibility on controlling the information going on at the college. So there will be a lot of deadlines that the college imposes to the students. If the students misses deadline, the classes can be dropped. They will be probably owing money if the classes are dropped. They won't be able to make the good pace of classes if they miss a class, for example, or they don't show up on time in class, and the professors may not even let them in. Sometimes you have professors that just close the door. Whoever's late, don't get in. So that is an important factor, that they need to be self-sufficient and responsible on that end. And of course, make sure that they communicate with you on a regular basis. Should be already kind of established, but make sure that you have that communication with them. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the social media for parents, which it's very convenient when it comes to that unknown. Going to a parent group on Facebook, for example, is very good, because you have all these questions being asked that you might have thought about, and they already have some answers. So they're usually parents that have already gone through this, or they're parents that are brand new through the process, and they have a little community for them. So you can Google the university that the student is going, and then find the unofficial parent group. Again, it's unofficial. It's totally not something that is handled by the college. They will be talking about housing and any type of, doctor's appointments or doctor's recommendation over there, especially if a student has to be seen on a regular basis. Where can a student be seen, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I have the link of the University of Virginia here as one example. So I'll be sending this PowerPoint, and you can click on the link. So the same thing applies to the students. So the students can actually start looking at class of, 2024, and seeing all the students that have, that are wishing to go, or that are actually going to be going to UVA, for example. So you'll see all the students in there, and then they can connect. And it's very, very convenient, especially when they're trying to find roommates to be paired with, or any type of commonality, or buy things from their dorms, from other students that have attended UVA. So this is very convenient. So this is kind of like an example of a dorm. So you have many styles of dorms that you can find everywhere in universities. So you have those that are very individual. So you'll have individual rooms, one twin bed, and then they give you the nightstand and the desk, and that's it. Usually the bathrooms on the hallways, but you also have new layouts now that are making it convenient for students where they have the bathroom inside the room and they're sharing it with someone else in the room or nearby. So it's like a layout of a suite. The way the selection is made, it's basically as soon as you submitted the application, you have your first choice. Some of them can be on a lottery. I will say that you start putting your application now, so you have at least that process done. Some students are also paired by programs. So if a students are going to engineering school, sometimes, not every university does that, but if they're going for engineering course, then they will be paired together in the same building, for example. Honors college are very well known to do that. So all the students that are in the honors program, honors college, they will do that and pair them together. There are houses that are also the same way. And this, for example, for students that received a certain type of scholarship or leadership type of a program, they will be put in the same house. And then they have individual rooms. So it really all depends on how the university is doing. But if you have a senior, I will highly suggest that you visit the university campus and the dorm. Hopefully you've done that already, because at this point we're really trying to make decisions. But it's important for juniors as well to make those visits. Now is the time to really be searching for that. So meal plans. There are meal plans that are required on campus. You have those that are dining dollars, and then you have the flex dollars. Flex dollars, it allows you what to really buy and purchase. And dining dollars, they have a meal plan set, and then they have to use that throughout the day. They don't pay sales tax on it, and usually will expire at the end of the semester. Holidays. So you have to know. So the way to actually find this information is to look at the college calendar. The school calendar is going to be that first page you want to have printed and put on a binder for the student to have, because you have to make sure that you refer to it often. One of those days that you want to refer to are the holidays. During fall break, Thanksgiving and winter break, usually the college is closed. His students go back to their house. During the summer break, though, even though the student is going to be returning, they want you to clear up the dorms, and then they will reassigning you to the next dorm. That is for sophomore, juniors. So they have different layers. So this is where we have the move out. Generally, the move out is very intense. Same as the move in, but the move out is intense because they want you out very quickly so they can be starting to clean and reassign dorms for other ones coming in. So all of those deadlines needs to be very well thought out. And as parents, please print out these deadlines on the calendar of the school, because it's important to have it so you're aware of what's coming up. So this is another layout, sophomore year. So large publics, they do not guarantee dorms after the freshman year. So just be aware of that. This is where you ought to transition to apartment on campus or some other type of options. Some campuses require 2+ years to be on campus, to live on campus. So Christopher Newport University is one of them, as for 3 years. So apartments, in some campus apartments, so you have the apartments that are just regular apartments. If you and I were to rent an apartment to college students, will be that. But then you also have apartments that are being managed by the university, and they're renting it out to students. Very much like a normal renting process, but it's affiliated to the university, so the university is managing everything. So you have these types of options as well. And this is where you really have to find who you want to live with, where you want to live, because at this point it's just to make sure that you have the good roommate that can help out paying the rent. Okay, so sophomore year, off campus, will your student have a car? You got to think about that. There will be commuter parking at this point. You want to think about, is it cheaper? Is your student self-sufficient enough to be, going through the process of renting an apartment and making sure everything is paid on time? On campus. So in general, this is very limited as far as the inventory. That's why you have a lot of colleges that go on a wait list very fast. However, if you're able to secure a on-campus apartment, you have the possibility to sign up to be a resident assistant. So you are in charge of the floor, the apartments that are on your floor and the students that are on your floor. You make sure that there's not that much parties going on, or it's pretty well behaved in general. But they pay, if you're a resident assistant, they will pay for your apartment. So that really offset all the costs for that portion. So again, will your student have a car? Because usually you are pretty much self-sufficient. You are a staff of the campus. So you have to have some type of sufficiency on your end. And you have to pay for parking. That's another thing too. Parking is not cheap. It can go from $150 to close to $300. This is usually included in your tuition fees and what you have to pay, but sometimes it's actually paid separately. So be aware of that. Okay, so we'll go back to now Rockridge High School, where we, at the end of the year, we will be sending the final transcript after graduation. This is the final information that closes the admissions process. In order to do that, and for us to know where to send the final transcript, we want to make sure that your student let us know. So to do that, we have the senior survey that is available on Schoollinks, on the student Schoollinks under the To-Do tab. It's open now, but I understand we're very early in the process, and a lot of you guys may not be even knowing where to have the child going. So we don't really know if you're going to be able to make a decision at this point, given the financial aid delays, etc. So this senior survey will be open until June 5th. So we need to have that information before then. So you'll see a lot of emails from me to remind you all about having your child submit the survey. And I will be going physically to every senior classes starting in April, and making sure that they know where to do and where to put that information. Now, if we don't know where the student should go, please reach out to me and we can have a conversation, and so I can help you guide, and so you can make an informed decision as well. Just so you know, once you make a decision on where to go to college, there will be an email coming from the university saying, hey, now that you've accepted to come to my university, now you have an orientation to attend. This is a mandatory process. Orientation is a way for them to know that you're going to college, to their college, in addition to that enrollment deposit, and is basically looked at as an onboarding process. But above all, it's a way to meet your academic advisor. That is the time when you select the courses for that fall term coming in. And then it's a great way to actually meet where the advisors are, where the whole logistic of the college is, and on the semester basis, the student will have to do that. Go to the academic advisor and help them select the courses. As they move closer to maybe sophomore, junior year, they'll be able to do that on their own. But having an academic advisor and being basically there, having a meeting with them, is very good. So they know what you want in the future and where you want to head out. If you want to do medicine, medical school, if you want to go for specific courses, have an internship, etc., they will be the point of contact. So parents are often invited to attend the move-in day, but not for orientation. They want to make sure that the students are 100% focused and they can attend they know everywhere, all the areas of the college, because the orientation can last between 1 day to 3 days. So depending on the university. So AP and DE credits can get determined during the meeting with the academic advisor, but I would suggest that you send out all the transcripts from the DE. So if your child has taken DE courses at Rockridge, it will be through Reach or Blend. So you can go on the website and submit a request for transcript to be sent to the universities directly. For AP is done through College Board. You want to make sure that College Board is aware that those information have to go straight to the university, and the earlier the better. So, and that way the academic advisor can make a determination at that point. All right, the drop off. So, moving date happens over the course of a few days, sometimes just 1 day, depending on the university again. Some program allows students to move in earlier, such as Greek Life, Marching Band, Honors College, as we mentioned earlier. If you want to make sure that you have full attention with your child going to college, so if you have smaller siblings, see if you can probably leave them at home with someone to care for. It's important to have that dedicated attention. There will be a lot of people, and that can get really chaotic. Determine if there are helpers. Most of the time, the university have so resident assistants or simply ambassadors that are helping out families with a cart, or have helpers in general. But bring some people with you that have strong muscles that can help out to make that little move. It's important. Bring anything that needs to be done for fixing new furniture, or anything that has to be brought in that is heavy. Water, hammers, screwdrivers, all these things may be brought in, so that way you have a good smooth transition. And of course, let your student take the lead on saying goodbyes. Maybe they have a new roommate and they feel a little bit excited to be talking with that person. So make sure that you're aware of that. So I really highly encourage students to participate in student life. Student life is basically being part of a club, being part of an organization, very similar to what we have at Rockridge, doing activities days. But the reason I'm saying that, because I remember myself when I had gone, moved from a different country and arrived in the United States to be part of a new college. I had absolutely no idea how everything worked. And I was part of the international club. So that really, really helped me doing that transition and meeting new people that were in a similar boat than me. And that really, I felt comfortable, and I adapted myself very fast. So if you are able to encourage your students to participate to any clubs and organization, they have an activities fair at the beginning of every semester. They have Greek life, so if you want them to join sororities or fraternities, but they will have a fee though. In order to join the Greek life, there's a fee. But again, know that students probably just want to take everything in the first semester and maybe join a club on the second semester. And that is perfectly fine. They just want to make sure, how everything works instead of being just overwhelmed at first with the technicalities of a club, for example. But it's very important for them that at one point, it's important for them to join, just because it will make them be part of that university's family, if you like. Okay, wellness. So wellness, every universities normally should have some type of a clinic, some type of a hospital, some type of a nurse office, if it's really small. They can upload or provide the vaccines records or any kind of shots required by the university in order to attend. They can bring them there. You will not have access to their medical information unless your name is provided by the students. This is not a FERPA, it's a HIPAA privacy, because we're going to the medical field at this point. Make sure that your students knows when they're sick, who to ask for and where to go. Again, there's probably urgent cares in a big university setting. There will be urgent cares that are around the university. Make sure that they know if they're taking insurance. I would suggest that you provide a medicine kit for them, anything to do with, simple basic Motrin, Tylenol, even a thermometer or Band-Aid, stuff like that. Any type of medication that they're supposed to take, which should be, they should know how to take them at that point. And also, if you meet the roommates, please make sure that you take their contact information, just so that you're aware of the whereabouts in case you don't hear from your child. And know what to eat at the college. Some cafeterias at the colleges can be not really healthy as far as the food that they provide, and some universities got awards for being healthy and providing healthy food to the students. So it's really a hit or miss. So I provided a link here for any type of, a wellness checklist for new students and college freshmen. So please go on that link whenever I send you the PowerPoint. And I will post that, by the way, the recording and the PowerPoint on the newsletter tonight. Encourage them to have a routine. Again, we have to have that talk with a student. Sometimes it's a hard thing to learn, but they have to know how to say no. The life in the university setting can be completely different from one university to another. And they may have some new groups of friends that they're making, and they are being asked to go, I don't know, out every night, okay? But they do have homework to do, they do have assignments, and they have commitments to go. So it is okay to say no. So again, another resource here for you to have. So this one is very important to know. So if a student has currently in high school an IEP, know that at the university level, the student will have to self-identify, meaning that they will have to go to the service for students with disabilities or adaptive services, depending on what the university calls it, and self-identify and saying, hi, I have an IEP at the high school, what should I do now? I would like to have some type of flexibilities or accommodation when it comes to talking with my professors, testing, etc. So this is the website from Virginia Tech, but every university calls it differently. Most of the time, I see as adaptive services or accessibility and disability services. So these are the type of names they call, but they have resources in these offices that are super helpful for students that need extended time for testing, or they need to just have some type of accommodation. By law, universities are required to offer auxiliary aids and services in a timely manner to ensure that students with disability are able to participate to the offering of the university. So this is a law that every university have to follow. But it is important for the students and the family to know that the university is not going to go to the students because they might not even know that a student needs accommodation. So the student has to self-identify, has to make that step to go to the office and say, I need some accommodation, can you help me? And then the process starts. So they may need some additional documentation from the high school, but generally everything is handled at the university level. Okay, so any questions? And I have the mic open, so you guys can just jump in and go ahead and talk if you'd like to. No questions. You can probably have them on the Q&A if you'd like to just go ahead.
I have one question. So earlier you mentioned about the orientation.
Yes.
So when do colleges schedule these orientations normally?
Well, it's I've seen it from starting mid-June to all the way August.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you wait the last orientation being offered, let's say in August, which is before the semester starts, you're faced with the issue of not having enough classes to take because there's other kids already picked up those classes and there's not enough, not enough space in these classes, especially the first year. You have a lot of students are doing general type of classes and everybody has to take them. So there's going to be a little bit of fight on finding the spot for that. So the earlier you register, the better it is.
And when does the registration open for this orientation?
It's depending on the university. I don't have the dates because they are the ones that do that. So let's just say that you commit to one university. As soon as you commit, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, they should be sending you an email saying, hey, orientation dates are, and then that's when you pick.
Oh, okay, so we do get communication from university.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, check your email, please. I tell the students all the time, having your email handy all the time is because they send so much communication. You probably already seen that, that it gets lost in translation. But worst case scenario, log into the dashboard of the student university's website, and you'll be able to see one of the dates.
Okay, thank you.
And if you don't attend or an orientation, let's just say you skipped it, you missed it, whatever, they're going to put a hold on your account and you're not going to be able to register to classes until you've done your orientation.
Okay.
So then again, you delayed. Any other questions?
Yeah, hello.
I have a question. Hi. Is there a chance of negotiating regarding the tuition fee if we did not get enough merit scholarship and we are not eligible for FAFSA? and scholarship is not enough, and the fees is too high, but the student is interested in that college. So is there a chance that we could talk to the academic advisor, somebody from the college?
So the academic advisor is not the person to go to at all. They're not going to know actually anything. The person you want to go to, or the department you want to go to, is the financial aid office. When a student submits a college application, they are automatically reviewed for merit admission scholarships. When they receive their decision, they generally tell them, hey, congratulations, you've been accepted. We are giving you this much money. If that doesn't happen, then you can talk to the financial aid office and say, what kind of other scholarships I can apply? They generally have deadlines, so you don't want to miss the deadlines. That's that. Private universities, though, are more receptive of being able to talk with you and finding out how much money you can get, because the public universities, for example, they have to report back to the federal government, and they have more rules to follow in that end. If you wish, that's kind of like the word I'm using, but the private universities, they don't have much of a report to go back to the federal government, and they can use institutional funds, like little pocket of money, if you like, that they can use to add on as scholarship or add on to the money for the student. But that's the extensive. You can talk to private universities much more than public.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, because if you were to talk to a public university, they will say, well, that's how much we can give you. We don't have that much more to give you. So you can still talk to them. You can still ask. Never kills to try, right? But private university has more of a negotiation perception, if you like.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. I think we have someone else.
Yeah, is there any way to visit colleges in sophomore years or junior years?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Is there any open house kind of thing?
So the way to do that is to go, let's just say that you look at all the Virginia universities, and you pick Virginia Tech, UVA, I'm just giving you the big ones. And then you look for the open houses. The open houses are usually disclosed on their website in the fall. So you'll have a lot of them starting in September all the way to November time. They have open houses. Sometimes you have universities that do also in the spring, so around spring break time-ish. But you can go and visit a university without having to go for an open house. If you go onto their website, they should be visit or see us or something like that. And then you'll have a link where they have dates, like it's a calendar. Just pick the date, register your name and the name of the student, and then you just go. You can do that at any time. Anytime. They're open all year for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Yes.
Sorry, I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
This is Yadula. So this is related to wellness. So you mentioned, so typically, I mean, for example, the kids are usually on the parents' insurance until age of 21st, right? So can the same insurance be used when are at the university?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The only population of students that are asking to have their own type of insurance are international students coming from abroad. But if you have your own insurance here, it's fine. You can use it. Okay. But after 21, of course, they will have to change and get their own.
Right.
Yeah. They need to know how to use all that too. They need to make sure that, whenever they have a card, and they have to make sure that to present it to the doctor, the small little process that we take for granted.
Right. But then does the university usually have the medical offices on campus, or they have to still go and go outside the university in if needed?
So in my experience, I haven't seen a university that doesn't have it. And if they have it, it's either very small, like a, maybe two room office type of thing, or they have a little clinic. Especially if they have a medical school on campus, they usually use that as a base for medical teaching as well. So it really depends on the university. And if the university doesn't have it because it's small, then the students will have to go outside as a, like a regular resident. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna
one last
sure.
Last question. Does 529 plan applies for out of state colleges or?
Yes, you can use that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you got the plan, well, remember 529 is basically kind of like a savings plans anyway. And you want to make sure that, you have enough to cover the out-of-state fees. But you will have to definitely bring in the gap of the, the difference between the tuition and whatever is provided in the 529.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, we're gonna stop over here because it's almost time for students to start. So have a great weekend. And again, you can email me at any time. My email is in the newsletter, but also on the website. All right. Have a good night. Good night. Well, I guess so. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was very
thank you.
informative.
Thank you.